living my entire life, but mostly the latest years, when I actually surrendered to it and understood that we are not alone. So I wrote this book because I wanted to share with people. I went through a lot of um, events in my life when I felt lost, and knowing, acknowledging that I was not alone in my path, that I was actually being guided, um, was a life-changing experience for me. And mostly that I have a great support team and back me up team there, all out there. So now that I made my formal professional presentation, I will take my shoes off because I don't like to have shoes. So excuse me, and I will get tired within 15 minutes. So okay, now good. This is me. Hi, I'm Laura. This is the real me. That was the fake me. This is the real me. So I like to do this very interactive. I don't like to sit here like I am the medium and talk. I like to that you participate also, and if you have questions, you can ask questions, and I will be answering. So we can do it very dynamic. It's kind of boring that I am here talking about me. I don't like that. I am not the center of attention. They are. When I say they, is the spirits that are here with us today. Especially thanks to Archangel Michael, who works with me and is always around me. And I know he's here today cheering me up. So, You're Not Alone is actually a manifesto. Sorry for my English. I am Dominican. I'm really. I get the tone and the dozen, and I get very confused with it. But well, my main language is Spanish, so the English is more or less. So, You're Not Alone is a manifesto of divine love. And I have these abilities with me as mediumship abilities since I was a little girl. I got it from my grandmother, thanks grandma, and she had the abilities too. She was very well known for predicting the death of the people. Yeah, not a good one, but she became very famous within the family. My grandmother never developed the gifts, not made it, publicly, but within the family, she was very famous, and no one want her to, want to dream with them, because they say, every time mom or my grandmother dreamed with someone, she say, oh, your uncle, I don't know, is going to die. And we say like, shh, shh, don't say anything. Like, we don't want to let him die in peace. You don't have to announce it. And yeah, and my dad, he's also a writer, a fiction writer. He wrote her a story that says, don't dream with me, mom. Everyone is very afraid of my grandmother's strength, but it's something in my family. It's nothing new for me. It wasn't new for me because my grandmother had it. I have an uncle who also got it, and he practices for more than 25 years now, but he does it in Dominican Republic exclusively. So the spirituality and the communication is not, it wasn't something new for me, but I didn't have that kind of orientation when I was growing up. So I used to, the first thing that I remember with the communication with the spirit was with myself being, I don't know, 7 years old, 8 years old. uh, that I can remember, sitting in my grandma's bedroom because she had like this huge space with a lot of saints, images, and the Virgin Mary, Jesus Christ, and she had all of this, and I felt such a warmth, a comfort there, that I spent hours being a little girl there. And since I can recall, those were the first time that I could actually feel something. In the meanwhile, since I was growing up, I always, said like, oh, I see things. I always saw things, I said, there is someone there, and there's someone running from out there. So I just always said to my family, and they always find it normal. So for me, it was very normal, because they say, oh yes, you're seeing someone dead, and I say, okay, someone dead. Are you scared? No. Oh, it's okay. And it was very normal all the time. So since I was while I grew up, my first real experience, like, a strongest experience with the spirits, were when my granddad passed away. He committed suicide when I was 14, and he was into depression, and long-term depression. And when I had 14, turning 15, he committed suicide. It was the first tragic event in my family, and that marked turning point for me in my, as a medium, as a spiritual person in my spiritual journey, because after he passed, he began to appear to me in the living room of the house that we live in for 2 years. And he was the one who actually guided me and gave me the confirmation that I could do this kind of things. But for a very long time, I resisted. There is a lot of taboo in Dominican Republic. I don't know if there is any Latin Americans here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see a few ones there. Yeah. There's a lot of taboo with spirituality subject. I am Catholic. I was raised Catholic, and all the things with the heaven and all this. I respect. Not at all against it, but it is kind of close your mind a lot. And there is too much love to experience, and we shouldn't be afraid of it. We should welcome it. So I began to disagree with some things when I say, okay, you're talking to me about, punishing or sin or something that makes me feel guilty. But the God that I know, and the one who is actually, guiding me and speaking to me, is so loving, is so forgiving, is so, compassionate, that I don't understand how he can punish me. And I am a very normal person, but I'm not always a good, one. I make mistakes, and I never got, punishment from God or from the higher force or for whatever you want to call them. I always got a lot of comprehension, a lot of understanding, and love. But mostly, they always said me, you choose that way, it wasn't good, so now we are trying to take you this way, that is the one who is good for you. I resisted a lot my gifts, so I just wanted to be a journalist and to be a graphic designer, and I was a dancer, and I was a lot of things. So my surrendering to the love of the spirits was when I had my 30-year crisis. You are supposed to have like a middle age crisis. I had it like 20 years earlier. I had my daughter when I was 27. I gave birth to my daughter, and in the same week I gave birth to my daughter, I divorced the dad of my daughter, and I lose my job. All in the same week. That was a very interesting week. And I passed from living in my own apartment to go back to my parents' house with a baby born and without a job. So I felt the need to pursue my spiritual path. But again, we are very stubborn. I am very stubborn. And I just said, like, you know what? I am stubborn. I know they are correcting my English over there. You understood me.
Yeah.
That's the important. So, I just, said, look, I know you're saying me to pursue this, but I don't know how to do it. So I will just put a video production company. And I did it. I set up a video production company, and it all began like very well, very not well, it's not working thing. And after 2.5 years of struggling with the not working video production company, I parked my car and I say, you know what? I surrender. Do whatever you want, but I need to find that, finally what I need to do. I can't live in this void anymore. I actually was, financially good. I was financially good, but I realized that we can have everything we thought we wanted, and we still feel empty and, without a sense of. And I felt that need of giving, and I say, I am not giving anything. What I am doing is business. Oh, I know how to do business, yes. But I wasn't giving anything. And my necessity, my urge to give to people, to help, to do something, to do a difference, it was so huge that it was overwhelming. And I say, if I don't do something, I will go myself crazy, and I will drive myself crazy over that. So I told them, like, I know that I have something to do so I can give, and I want you to show me. And I mostly prayed to Archangel Michael, but in that moment I prayed to the Blessed Mother. And I said, you know what? I need a mother. I have my mom. I love her. But she wasn't in the car with me. So you said, I need a mom right now in the car. And my mom wasn't in it. So I say, okay, I am calling you because I need the love and the comfort and the guidance of a mom. And I pray to her. And I say, I surrender. And I say, I'm ready for you to take everything that is not for me, take that out of my life. I don't have anything to lose, besides my daughter. That is the only thing that that I don't want you to take away from me. I can lose everything else. I don't care. I was at that point of desperation. And, well, she did. She took a lot of things from me. And that same day, I went to my aunt's house, one of my many, many aunts. And we were playing bingo. They were tired of me winning. So they said, we don't want to play with you anymore. And they took me out of the table. Excuse me. So it's fine. So they took me out of the table, and I went to sit like in a chair that was apart from everyone. And while I was sitting there, I felt something hit my leg. I was wearing jeans, and I felt something hit my leg. When I looked down, it was a little medal, and when I looked the medal, it was the Virgin of the Miraculous medal. The medal. I was freaked out. I am not going to lie. I freaked out. I stood there for a moment, and then I took the medal, and I went person by person who were there in the where we were playing bingo, and I asked, "Is this yours?" And there is, it was mine. So that was my sign to my answer. She was telling me, "I am here with you. I am here for you." And she was. The next day, everything began to change. I had to close the video production company because it just fell down. The suppliers, the clients I had just started calling and saying, we are not keep working with you, and the contracts and everything. I had a TV show, a cooking TV show, and the TV show just went down. And I said, okay, I said I was ready for this, so I won't complain. And one day in those weeks, I said, oh, here is the medal. Is this? I wear it all the time since then. So that same week, the next weeks, I was sitting there and I say, okay, I just gave up, and it's perfect. I am willing to do what you want me to do, but just tell me what you want me to do, because I need a job. I have to maintain myself, maintain my daughter, and I don't have a job. So I received a call. One afternoon, I was sitting there, and I received a call, and they told me a call from the United States, and I answered my cell phone, and someone, a guy, said like, "Hi, it's Laura Gomez," and I said, "Yes, it's Laura Gomez." And he said, "Oh, we are calling from Balboa Press. It's the editorial of Hay House, and we are calling you because we're interested in publish your book." And I said, "Oh, good. Which book?" Because I don't know. I said, that's good, but I don't have a book. I haven't. I'm not writing anything. I wasn't writing anything, and I didn't have anything. And I explained to him, and I asked him if he was mistaken, and he told me, "No, it's you, it's Laura Gomez, and we can do this and we can do that." And he went on by an hour talking about what we will do and the book and where we're going to publish the book and la la la. And when he finished talking, he said like, "Are you agree?" I said like, "Yeah, but I need a book to publish, So what exactly do you want me to send you? Because I don't even know what I'm going to write about." And he just told me, "Oh, it's okay. We will wait for you." And I said, "Okay, this Hay House just called me, and they are waiting for me. And how did you get my number? Because I don't live there, and I never wrote to you." So they were guiding me. They wanted me to do this. So I said yes. Don't ask me why, but I said yes. I said yes, I will write the book. Hi, Patrice. And I will write the book. And I just closed the phone, closed the call, and hang up. And I sat down with my computer and told them, my spirits, like, okay, you got me into this, now you take me out, what I am going to write. And I end up writing this book in 2.5 months. Less than 2.5 months, I give it to Hay House, and they just made everything that they had to do and publish it. And yes, there are a lot of my own experiences. In the way I got a lot of people who I don't know how they knew about that I was writing a book. I say, hey, I am now everyone knows about me, and I don't know how because I don't even go out of my house. But I keep getting messages from people that say like, oh, we want to share my testimony with you for the book. And I said, how do you know? But it's okay. I there's a point in my life that I don't ask anymore. Like I get things that from out of nowhere, and I don't ask. I just say, okay, it's perfect because I know it's them. It's not. It doesn't have any, logical sense. So that's what I did. I just published this book, and it was a lot of guided. Like I sat down and I just started receiving everything exactly as I had to write it down, and I just did that. So for me, it wasn't much of an effort because they did all the work for me, and I am getting all the credit. So, and that was like my getting out of the closet as a medium, because this book opened the door and actually showed me what I had to do. It took me a time because of what people were going to say. In my country, it's like a huge thing. Family calling, so like, is Laura medium now? And everyone was wondering, and it was like a huge thing, a family thing. With me being a medium, but I did it. Even I have been having a lot of bullying. I am being bullied, but I do it, because I understood that I want people to experience what I experience, because I know that there is something much greater than this, that is a better life that we can have, and we worry too much about controlling things, controlling situations, about having a car, having a house, having clothes. And you can have all of that. It's not bad, but it's not fulfilling. You can have all of that and not being happy. And when you find that you are actually loved, that you can do, that you have a higher purpose, that you can do more than just being here, it creates a feeling of fulfillment and inner peace that actually it doesn't compare to anything. And that's the reason I do what I do. So one of the first things a lot of people ask me, like, how can we communicate? Because people think that I am, like, mediums are the only people that has the ability to communicate with spirits, and not. We all have the ability to do it. And it's a thing of sensitivity. Yes, it's true that some people are born with that purpose. That is my purpose. I have a much, I am more sensitive to energies, because that's what I do. I just channel energies. I just pick up energies and match energies. That's what I do. I studied metaphysics so I could understand how it works. So all of us can develop the sensitivity and can actually begin, step by step, feeling, sensing, picking up other people's energy, and then picking up other realms' energy. So, but the first and the easiest way to do it is to ask for signs. I am a fan of asking for signs. And they always deliver signs, always. And why science? Because sometimes we feel lost if you don't want to go to a medium to tell you something. You can do it by yourself. I know this is not good for business. Because I'm sabotaging myself. But what I want is that you have the experience, actually. And asking for signs will allow you to get that confirmation that you need, you know, and it will help you to develop your intuition and your own ability to communicate with the spirits. And you will have like the first-hand experience of trusting. Because you can come with me and I can tell you things and you can trust or not. But when you are the one that is asking for the signs and you actually have the signs, you know, the things change. Because there you begin to see firsthand that you actually, you are communicating with the spirits. So asking for signs, ask for a feather, ask for a bird, flower, whatever you want, they will give it to you. And when we get the signs, we have to believe in it. You know, I tried so hard for days to find a logical explanation to the medal. I say like, okay, Laura, you were sitting there and there were no one near you, okay? But someone could be like doing this with a you know, bracelet, and the metal just go up and land on your leg. I tried to find like logical explanation for this, and the truth is it doesn't have one. I couldn't find it, you know? Yeah.
I had a situation where I was at the airport in New York coming back to Florida where I live, and I went in to sit in a little area where there was just like a little desk kind of thing and you can plug in your computer, and I looked down and there's a feather, and I'm staring. I picked it up obviously and I said, a feather? I mean, this is in the airport, in the terminal. I mean, there's no birds, there's no ducks. How did that happen? And then I realized it was like somebody was trying to contact me.
Yes, and it happens a lot. I have people that says, oh, you know, I asked for a feather. And I said, oh, okay, you find it? Well, yes, I saw one in an elevator. Okay. And you didn't pick it up. No, you know, it could go there, you know, you said by who? Like a bird who was taking the elevator to the second floor. You know, it's kind of like that. Yeah, we have to trust. If we ask for something, you know, the least we can do is to trust what we are getting. Don't expect they are going to come up, you know, like with this dress and say, I am here, I am the Archangel Michael, I'm just, you know, here giving you the answers you need, you know. People want like big revelations, and divine love is in your daily life. You don't need a big thing. You don't need a big, you know, people are always waiting for huge miracles to happen, you know. When you are having the guidance you need in your daily life, that's the, you know, the most amazing miracle you can have, you know, because you are being guided every day to a better place, to a better life. And the only thing we have to do is to trust in it first, but to follow the guidance, because we ask for guidance, but when we see that it's not what we want, we say, oh yeah, but no, thank you. You know, I am going my way, and then you just fall off the cliff, you know, hit your head very bad, and you say, well, I should follow the guidance. So if you know, a life-changing experience, and you have to transform your life. You have to, a spiritual life, people think is easy, it's not. You have to detach from a lot of things. That the spiritual life and the ego doesn't match, you know, they don't match, they don't go together. So we have to detach from people. We have to detach from situations. We have to detach from expectations. someone asked me yesterday, like, how in this hectic life we can get a spiritual life? Well, disconnecting from society expectations. Because if you want a spiritual life, if you actually want to cultivate and to create what do you really want and the life that you really want, you have to start asking yourself, what do you really want, without the expectations of society and other people. And a spiritual life requires a lot of that, of detachment, of giving, but also the knowingness on how to receive, because it's a cycle. A lot of people think that I am always giving, I am always giving, I am always giving, you know? But you have to learn how to receive back. Because then you go and say, oh, but they don't do anything for me. Yeah, because you're not allowing them to give you back. And they always want to give you back. Because it's an energy thing, it's flowing, it's letting the energy flow. So a spiritual life is kind of lonely because you begin to feel the energy of other people, and you don't want to be with people that are draining your energy anymore. So you just start saying like, no, I'm not going out, you say. And sometimes people expect that we are going out all the time, or doing this or doing that. And you have to learn to say no. No, I don't want to go there. Why? Because I don't feel good there. You know? No, because I want to be alone for a moment, because I want to stay with my daughter in my house, because I want to see Mulan. You know, I like animation movies. So I like cartoons a lot. So you have to detach from expectations and from the goals that you are supposed to, what you are supposed to be, what you are supposed to do. That's something I don't know who created that, but that is something like a crazy madness thing that people created, that we should do things, you know? I don't know here, because I don't live here, but in my country it's like, oh, you get out of school, you should be in college, you know? And then you should get a master degree now, because you have to get a master degree for everything. And then you have 23 years old and they're asking like, you're not married. Why aren't you having kids? And then you get married, and then when you're having the first kid. And then when you have the first kid, when you're having the second one, but I just have the first kid. And you didn't ask me if I want more kids. Maybe I don't. You know? And this is a crazy thing that keeps going and going. And you live in a rented house, and why do you don't buy a house? Because I don't have the money to buy a house, you know? But people think that you should do those things. And that just create a lot of anxiety, a lot of, you know, depression. It strains your energy. It doesn't allow you to enjoy your life as you want to enjoy it. And everyone has the right to define their own life. Everyone has a purpose, very different. And that's what we should seek, what we should ask for. Like, what is my purpose? And to build and create a life based on that purpose. Because that is the only thing. The only thing. You can have the husband, you can have the kids, you can have everything. And if you're not fulfilling that purpose, you will never, never, never feel joyful and fulfilled and peaceful within you. Nothing external can give you what do you really need, you know? And I found that in my connection with divine and unconditional love, and that is what You're Not Alone is all about. So if you have any questions for me.
So a lot of people seem to struggle with finding out what their purpose is.
Yes.
And so why, if we're not alone, is it so challenging to figure out what that is for each for each person?
You know, it's not challenging because within you, you know what you have to do, but we don't want to look at it. I knew what I had to do since I was very young, but it didn't match my ego. you know, because I wanted to work and I wanted to earn a lot of money to buy a house and to have a car, you know. And progressively, you find out that those things don't fulfill you. And you go by and you say, okay, I'm getting everything I wanted, and I still feel empty. And there's when you hit button and you say, okay, I'm looking for my purpose because I need to do something to fulfill my soul. And when you realize what your purpose is, you will always say, oh, I knew this, you know? And if you ask for guidance, that's what I did, and they give it to me. They will show you the way, step by step, but you have to present yourself for it.
Can people have more than one purpose?
Yes. Yes. Okay. Any other questions?
So, you recommend following the advice of the spirits you communicate with? And that's what I understood, right?
Yes.
At some point you figure out how to establish that connection, and they give you good advice. I guess what makes them enlightened? What makes them being able to give you better advice than you yourself could give to yourself? Meaning, I just don't understand that part. Are they connected to something bigger or better? How? It's kind of like John may give me advice here, and I may say, you know what, he doesn't know what he's saying. I will make my choice, but you do recommend to listen to or to follow the guidance that you receive.
Yeah.
How come?
Because they have a wider perspective that you don't have. We are all limited here. We have a human body, and there is a lot of things that you can't see. I don't see the future. I don't see what is going to happen to you. They tell me. They can see it.
And when you say they, it's people that were alive and now they are not, right?
There's a lot of different spirits. There are the loved ones you had that passed away. That's one. But there are also a spirit that I don't know, because I got a lot of spirits and said, where are you from? Because I don't know where they're from. But you got angels, you got archangels. I work with Archangel Michael. He's an archangel. And there are ascended masters, like in metaphysics, you have the ascended master that are Jesus Christ and Buddha, and you know, that lives here, died, but are in a energetic level more elevated than the other ones, you know? And they know because they have a wider perspective, they are not here. If you have the ability to see what you actually had to do, you know, you wouldn't be a human, you will be in the spiritual world.
Okay.
That's how I have learned.
Exactly, and you are obviously experiencing these things, but how would any of us would know, am I connecting to the right spirit that's going to give me good advice, or it may be actually negative advice? Because the way you talk, it's so good. I'm
So
loving.
you're talking about like low energies, like low spirits, or spirits that are not going to guide you. If you ask advice or guidance or sign to the light, I work with the light. That's why I refer always to unconditional love. And I don't match low energies. So when you ask for advice from the light, you know, from a higher power, from spirits that are enlightened, like angels, for example, you won't get a bad advice.
You will get better advice, okay?
Yeah. You won't, believe me, you won't. Is that
Yeah, thank you.
Is there always a trade-off? You have to give something of yourself to get the trade to receive?
It's not trade.
Okay, it's not trade.
No, it sounds like, you know,
An exchange.
too formal.
Okay.
No, it's
A barter.
yeah, it's keeping the energy flowing. You know, everything is energy. We all are energy. I can feel the energy of everyone here. We have human bodies. This is material, but we are spirits. And the spirits that I communicate with are energy. We are energy. If you go and put your hand into the thing with an electric thing, you will get damage, right? Because you have energy. If you didn't have energy, if you took a tennis shoes and put it into it, you won't get hurt because the tennis shoes don't have an energy, so you have it. So everything is energy, and the energy has to keep moving because if you don't, it blocks. So if you give, you receive. You will always receive. Try that everything you give is good, because if what you give is not good, you are going to receive not good things.
So that's the exchange. It's considered an energy exchange.
Yes, is an energy.
So my actions are energy because I am
Your
here.
thoughts are energies.
Oh, okay. Thoughts too.
Yes, your
Okay.
thoughts are
Okay.
energy. That's why the secret is about, they will have it here. The secret book
Yes.
is about think positive, you get positive. You know, your thoughts are energy. It's not that easy, by the way, but it's not. They're not fairies. Yeah, exactly. It's not magic. Exactly. But what you put out there in energy as action or thoughts get back to you in energy. The same
So
way.
so that would be the form of action. It could be
Yes.
thoughts and actual physical actions.
It works. Yes.
And words. Message.
That's the change.
So how do you, when you're asking for guidance and you pray fervently and you really know the law of attraction, but you have blockages, how is it that you can circumspectly go around those blockages or surrender those things? Because sometimes I have a lot of good things that happen, but I also have blocks, and I'm not sure sometimes if I'm getting the message correctly or what to do with it, how to go to the next.
If you have
step.
blocks,
Yeah.
you have to work on those blocks.
Yeah, I do work on them. I mean, I work on a lot of them, and I guess the bigger question is how do you know sometimes even when the message that you're getting is not from you, it's from spirit.
Like when you are receiving, that's what I say, that there are a lot of ways. For me, to put an example, I can see things. I know it's not my head because I am seeing things outside of my head. So, it's in
I
other
don't see
form.
things quite like that, but yeah. I have another version, but not necessarily that clarity.
Exactly. So that's why I always say, if you need confirmation, ask for signs. Is the
And
easiest
I
way
get
to
signs,
do
but
it.
I don't know what to do with them. I get the wildest, weirdest signs. But I guess maybe I'm not asking directly what it is that
You
I
have
need.
to
I
ask
need to be
yes or
more
no.
clear.
You have to ask yes or no.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't get
Okay, maybe
confused.
that's
They don't
what
get
I'm doing.
confused.
Yes or no? Okay.
Yes. Ask for yes or no. If you have if you want a confirmation, say I want that sign to know if I can go to that trip, whatever you want to know. So get a yes or no question. It will be easier for you to understand it, because if not, you're getting confused.
Okay, and then ask for a sign.
Ask for a sign. A
So it could be a
confirmation.
feather and everything.
Anything. Yeah. I have a collection of feathers for signs.
Yeah. Your gift often runs in families. Your gift often runs in families.
Yes.
And why do you think you were chosen to have the gift?
We all have purposes. Mine is that. Yeah. She wants to know why I was chosen for this, right? We all have purposes. Mine, I was given this purpose. I said sometimes, I could be an accountant. I don't know, it will be easier. But this is my purpose, and they give you everything you need to fulfill that purpose. I never thought I will be here speaking to all of you without crashing on the floor and getting to the hospital. I get home and I say like, oh my God, I was there and I'm speaking in front of people. Even for me, it's challenging. It's getting out of my comfort zone every single day. Every time I'm giving a reading to a person, I pray not for me. I pray to get the the accurate message for the person, because I say it's someone who is coming to me and trusting. It's someone who is putting a vulnerable part of their life. Is too much responsibility. I don't want to mess up with with anybody's life. I want to help, and it's scary that at some point I say, if I get a mistake, a message that it's not clear, and it's something that you have to live with. Thank God, until now I haven't messed up anything, so I am in a very good way here. But everyone has their own purpose, and you come here for that because it's part of your soul development. We are not come here because it's fun, and yes, let's get human now. It is because it is because we need to evolve as a souls, and every time we have a purpose that helps us with that journey to develop, evolve as the spirits.
So your gift often runs in families.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think we are a very gifted family. No, it runs in family, but from my dad's side, from my mom's side, it's not. But from my dad's side, it's weird. It's not common
To run in family?
to be like so many people in the family who has the
Really?
same thing. Yeah,
I've heard it.
it's not but it's not like an unusual thing. But in my family, from the part of my dad, there are have been 4 or 5 people, and me, that has the same purpose.
Maybe it's genetic.
It's here, and here.
If somebody wants a reading from you, how do they go about to get one? Because you live in Dominican Republic.
On my website
Okay.
is www.lauragmedium.com, and there you can get everything you need.
Do you think too that it's also a measure of, in your family, it was accepted that you had this ability, that you had this gift, so you were able to further your gift, whereas in some families, it's not accepted. I'm just wondering, because I've heard from people that, sometimes they believe that everybody may have a gift to some degree, but when that gift is pushed down, you kind of either refute it or you don't nurture it. Whereas if because you were mentioning, for instance, your grandmother, even if it was not
The best one.
and I said that I smiled because my grandmother and my great grandmother both had that ability too, and documented, so it wasn't that great. But no, I really wondered if maybe you had someone who nurtured the gift in you as well.
My grandma did. We understood very well. I am very like her. But in my family, inside, very personally, they accept it. It's normal, very normal. But when I made myself publicly with this, that wasn't that accepted. They support me. They always support me. They say, if it's this, we are supporting you. But they had a tough time with that, mostly because people just approached you and said Laura, do this and do that. Probably 97, 98% of Dominicans look for spiritual guidance, but they don't tell anyone. They go I came here, but nobody knows. If I pass that call, I can't take that call, so let's make this quick. And they just go sneaking around everywhere to look for guidance. You're not killing anyone. You're just looking for guidance for the love of God. We are not making rituals and doing dancing or things, anything weird. We're just sitting here.
Still our social stigma.
Yeah, social stigma. And people are going, hiding evidence, and I'm like, what's wrong? You know? And it's very funny, you know, from my perspective, I find it ridiculous, but.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to ask
Yeah.
this, because I do think that a lot of people don't pursue a gift or don't pursue an interest
Yeah.
because it is stigmatized.
Yes, it is very, but it's very, it's always not what they are doing, and when I was going publicly with this, I say, are you sure about this, because I am going to have a very hard time with this thing, you know? And I say, in Dominican Republic, so it's going to be very difficult for me to do this. And then, I say, okay, you got everything under control, because I receive everything from outside of my contract. I got a publication, a publisher from the United States, and I began to receive calls from people from here, from India, from Nigeria, and it's Nigeria. I don't know how many times of difference are from Nigeria to the Dominican Republic, but it's fine. And I began to receive that people from other places. In fact, I just have like 2 or 3 people who actually go to me in the Dominican Republic. Everyone else is from other countries. And I say, okay, you have it. I will, you know, I trust you. Because they know what I was very afraid that I was going to do that in my country. I said, this is going to be a disaster. Like, I am going to be the family shame. My dad is, you know, I don't want to know. But I just got everything. I am trying to approach in my own country, but it's a slow process. Yes, I am getting a lot of receptiveness here mostly, so thank you very much. There were
For those of us who have lost a close family member, what would you recommend so that we can hear them, or hear their voices, or hear their spirit?
Yeah, for that, you have to develop yourself, like sensitivity enough to actually can channel them, but they can give you signs, and you can ask them for it. I always recommend that you have a space where if you want to, most people say like, oh, then, you know, I want to talk about them, or I want to have pictures. Oh, you know, it's not good because you are lost, you are wasting the connection with them. And they want us to keep the connection, you know. It feels bad that when they died, you would just say like, oh no, I don't want to see your pictures, and that's rude. And they want to give the connection. So I always recommend people to have a picture, to light a candle, to put flowers, and to maintain that connection. It's beautiful. You know, it's beautiful to tell your loved one, like, I remember you, you are here. You're not in your body here, but you keep being here. And they appreciate that. And you can ask for time and let you know. For sure.
Laura, can you stand up front so we can hear you as well?
This
Please.
doesn't work. Okay.
No,
We
no,
wanna
no.
see you.
We want to see you.
Okay. Yeah. So is there? Okay. Here.
Yeah, how did you know that was your grandfather communicating with you, and how did he communicate with you?
He showed up. I
You
could
could
actually
actually
see
see
him. Yes. That was the strongest moment of mediumship for me as
How do
a
you see him?
teenager. Huh?
How did he look? Like, was he
It
Like
looks
a
like
spirit?
energy.
like energy?
Yeah. They are energy in like form. You can see the form, but it's energy. I can see the energy.
In the face?
And they start like sending images. I receive a lot of images, and they start receiving images with their physical description. So when I'm doing a reading, I say, is the person has black hair and have this kind of eyes and a smile like this. I can describe everything of the person because they show me images of themselves. So that's how I can.
Were you ever
recognize.
frightened?
No, at all. I am not frightened about that. I don't know what's wrong with this one.
No, you don't scare me.
No, I am not frightened. No, because what you feel when the energy appears is warm. Like you feel like suddenly a sensation of someone is hugging you. You know, it's not frightening at all. Even with the spirits that I don't know, that they roam around my house all the time, but they are not doing anything. You know, they don't do.
So you allow all of them,
Huh?
you allow anybody to be there?
Yeah, they can be there.
I mean, I see tons of faces, but I don't know what they're for, who they are.
Sometimes they're just there. I have, I don't know who is that likes my books, but I have like a bookshelf, like with, you know, several bookshelves. And once in a while, one of them, that goes like throwing my books out to the floor. So when I see like boom, when I enter the closet, I see all my books in the floor.
Wow,
All
that's
of them.
annoying. Annoying.
I said, well, yes, if you're having fun with that, it's okay. I just pick them up and put it back. But sometimes they're just, you know, walking around. They don't always want to communicate, you know.
Right.
They're just there.
Do they ever?
find any angry ones?
Not yet. I hope not.
Do they ever invade your privacy?
Huh?
Do they ever invade your privacy?
Yes, sometimes I say I need to be in the bathroom alone. Can you just get out here? Yes.
Or if you're
anytime.
sleeping and they're there.
They don't let me sleep much. Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I get up at 2, at 3, at 4 mostly. Yeah. Sometimes when I pray a lot in the night and I say I need to get some sleep, they will leave me alone. Yes.
Do they ever touch you?
Yes.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me before.
Yes, they love my hair.
Yeah, same on my hair.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't touch your hair?
Yes.
They love my hair. They are always doing this to me and I say thank you. I know I don't do my hair at all. I like this way.
Does your daughter